as I sat down, my wife looked at me and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I got cancer." Meade with the San Antonio Fire Department, and I'm the Operations Executive Officer. But my father's always been in the fire service. He was an EMT, and then he was a firefighter. He joined the Chicago Fire Department. As a kid, you always see those things. It's always you maybe get more visits to the fire station and get to go sit in the fire truck than average kids. Nonetheless, you don't find too many kids that don't think being at the fire station is cool. I spent 8 years on active duty in the Air Force, and when I got out, I was here, and I tested with the fire department, and I spent the last 24 years doing this. So this was probably this summer, early fall of 2014. I went to see my primary care physician, and he mentioned my thyroid labs, and he was like, "Hey, your thyroid labs are off." And so then the next process was going to an endocrinologist and to do a biopsy of the thyroid. So we're starting to get into October, November. I get the biopsy done. Those results came back inconclusive. And when I went to see my primary care physician, a couple of months had elapsed, and so he wanted to check up, hey, where are we at in this process? And he directed me to a different doctor. He called Dr. Nathan Hales, and he was like, "Hey, Doc, can we get him in for this thyroid issue?" We went in on the 23rd of December of 2014. He cut out half my thyroid. And then when he called me on December 27th, we were actually in a movie. We were waiting for the movie to start, and it was a movie about a young man that had a rough upbringing, joins the military, ends up being a prisoner of war, and then ends up in the Olympics running a race, right, and being a gold medalist. But I hadn't seen the movie at that point, right, but I knew the basis of it. So as I'm sitting waiting for this movie to start, I see this phone call from this number. I walk out. It's Dr. Hales, and he's like, "Hey, we got cancer in the right side of your thyroid." He's like, "We're going to need to take out the left side." He's like, "Just to make sure we're clear on that." And I was like, "Okay." And I walked back in, and I was stunned, right? And as I sat down, my wife looked at me, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I got cancer." She was like, "Do you want to leave?" And I was like, we're sitting in this movie, and it's all about this, resilience and being stronger and getting through these things, right? And these things are going to beat you down, but they're not going to kill you, Again, it was one of those things where God has a way of timing, and so I was like, this is where we're supposed to be. We're going to watch this movie, and we're going to go through this. So then 31st of December, they took out the second half. And then I went in, I think it was January 5th or 6th, it was that Monday, and he was like, the second half was clear. We got to be diligent, right? There's just so many things that we run into in this job. And even if you're safe and even if you're careful, you're still being exposed to things that most folks are not. And you have to recognize that. You can't bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and, oh no, it's not going to get me, because it will. And the longer you put that off, and I've said it before to some of my friends, I think there's some of the things we do, and whether it be on a fire scene or after the fact, or the labs and the physicals that are everything that's done through this department. Some of it's inconvenient, right? But I've said it a million times, it's inconvenient to do those things, but it's really inconvenient to tell your family you got cancer.